Hi everyone, I'm John C. Morley, the host of the JMOR Tech Talk Show and Inspirations for Your Life. Hey guys, how are you? It is John C. Morley here, serial entrepreneur, and of course, your coach and the founder of the JMOR Connection Incorporated and the host of the JMOR Tech Talk Show. So, welcome everyone. Thanks so much for being here. Take that moment right now to skedaddle and get something tasty and delicious from the fridge. Maybe it's an icy cold drink. Maybe it's something hot. Maybe it's leftover Halloween candy. Maybe it's a nice, healthy piece of fruit. Whatever it is, go get it and come on back here. All right, everyone. So welcome to the JMOR Tech Talk Show. I'm your host, John C. Morley. Do check out BelieveMeAchieve.com for more of my amazing, inspiring creations. So this show has a very interesting title. You ready for it? The title for this show is, I know you're ready for it, Pixels and Politics. The intersection of tech and society. I love that title. So we have a great show planned for you here today, and we're going to dive into the future, innovation, cybersecurity, and AI insights. So get ready for another earth-shattering show of the JMOR Tech Talk Show. Today, we're unpacking a week filled, that's right, with groundbreaking tech news and developments that are shaping our world, from cybersecurity breaches that threaten election integrity to the auction of an AI-created masterpiece. We've got the highlights that matter. Don't miss out, ladies and gentlemen, on discussions about innovative grocery shopping solutions, the latest controversies surrounding TikTok, and how artificial intelligence is revolutionizing the medical field. We bring you the tech trends you need to know, presented in a way that's engaging and easy to digest. Of course, you know, every single week, we give you the real short versions of these trends, and then we give you the longer version on the JMOR Tech Talk Show. So join me as we explore. Come on back from that kitchen there. We got to start the show here, buddy. All right, let's get going. So TSMC. All right, so who knows who TSMC is before I even get started? Who is TSMC? So TSMC is Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company Limited, and it's a Taiwanese multinational semiconductor contract manufacturing and design company. It's the world's second most valuable semiconductor company, the world's largest dedicated independent semiconductor foundry, and its country's largest company, with headquarters and main operations located in Hsinchu Science Park in Hsinchu, Taiwan, according to Wikipedia. All right, guys, let's talk about the caper that's going on here with TSMC. So TSMC has decided to halt shipments to China firm after Huawei's chip was found to have their contents in an AI processor. So TSMC suspended shipments to the Chinese chip designator Sothby, that's S-O-P-H-G-O, after discovering that a chip it produced ended up, as I said, in Huawei's AI processor. The Ascend 910B, raising concerns over political violations of U.S. export controls. The U.S. banned sales of foreign-made tech to Huawei in 2020 due to national security concerns. Tech Insights identified the chip while analyzing Huawei's processor, prompting TSMC to alert U.S. and Taiwanese authorities and halt shipments to Sothby. Neither Huawei nor Sothby responded to requests for comment, while TSMC stated it hasn't supplied Huawei since September 2020. All right, so that's definitely a little bit unsettling that that's happening, but at least they are at the top of their game and alerting people. So that's definitely a good thing that they're doing that. But I have to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, I wish we had a foundry like that in the United States that we didn't have to rely on foreign countries for that. And here's another interesting one. Italian database access arrests. This is really cool. The Italy police arrest four over alleged illegal database access. That's right. The Italian police placed four individuals, including Leonardo Maria and Del Vecchio, under house arrest in a probe involving alleged illegal access to state databases. Del Vecchio, a son of Luxottica's late founder, is accused of using a private intelligence agency run by a former policeman to gather information amid a family inheritance dispute. Investigations revealed illegal access to financial, tax, and police databases dating back to 2019, with data allegedly being sold or used for blackmail. Prosecutors expressed concern over basically the sale of the market for confidential information, highlighting its business-like dimensions. And I think that is a very, very big problem. That sometimes people are in the field and then they abuse their power. So I think what they're doing is good, and I think there needs to be more checks and balances when people leave companies so that they no longer have access to certain things. So I think that's a big concern right there. And ladies and gentlemen, this is another interesting story. I think you guys are really going to, I should say, appreciate. Chinese hackers targeted phones linked to Harris's campaign. So Chinese hackers allegedly accessed Verizon's systems to target phones connected to the Kamala Harris's presidential campaign. A source had revealed this, and reports indicated that Republican candidates Donald Trump and J.D. Vance were also targeted through this method. And the fact that they are still doing some testing, they're saying that there might be a possibility that this didn't happen. Although the other parties are trying to make this very clear that it did happen because they're trying to say that they went after both sides. Both the FBI and the CISA are investigating unauthorized access to telecom infrastructures linked to China. While Verizon acknowledged a sophisticated attempt to infiltrate the U.S. telecoms, the Chinese embassy denied involvement, stating that China does not interfere in U.S. elections. The Trump campaign was previously targeted in a separate hack attributed to Iran. This is getting very messy, and the election is just a few days away, with it coming up just this week on November 5th. It's going to be interesting to see what happens, and is there going to be any foul play going on overseas? I don't know. We're going to have to see what's going on there. And you remember Delta, right? Delta and CrowdStrike and that thing about them wanting to bring a lawsuit. Well, Delta Airlines has filed a lawsuit against cybersecurity firm CrowdStrike, claiming a faulty software update caused a mass flight disruption in July, leading to 7,000 cancellations and affecting 1.3 million passengers. The airline seeks over $500 million in damages for the financial impact, legal costs, and reputational harm. Delta alleges that CrowdStrike's update, which affected millions of Windows computers, was untested and caused widespread system crashes. CrowdStrike denies the claims, attributing the disruptions to Delta's issues were because of outdated IT infrastructure. Yeah, it's easy to do a pass the blame, isn't it? The incident is still under investigation by the U.S. Department of Transportation. Well, I got to tell you, I think CrowdStrike really lost their reputation, and maybe they're trying to rebuild it. But the question you might be asking is Delta, and this is a good question, is Delta justified in suing CrowdStrike? And I have to tell you, yes. I think the way they run their company over at CrowdStrike is just an abomination. And so they've been silent about this for a while, but now Delta's starting to realize that it's starting to affect their pockets because, they need this revenue back. And, we know that Microsoft actually lashed out at Delta not too long ago, and the time frame of August 6th. Um, you know, I think everybody is pointing fingers at everybody. And what is truly going on is no one is becoming accountable for what people are doing, why they're doing certain things, and what this means to people. I think that's really the whole bottom line. But, the lawsuit filed in Fulton County Superior Court near Delta Atlanta's headquarters stemmed back from a July incident when the faulty CrowdStrike software update triggered widespread system failures, including the quote unquote infamous blue screen of death, BSOD, on Windows computers worldwide. And this was according to many sources, including the Associated Press. Now, Delta's suit states the cybersecurity firm's negligence in rolling out an untested Microsoft computer update led to the cancellation of approximately 7,000 flights over 5 days during the peak summer travel season. The airline is pursuing, like I said, both compensatory and punitive damages, asserting that the company's actions caused widespread disruption during one of the busiest travel periods of the year. And I think, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's got to come down to the fact that people have to understand, what's going on and why things are going on and what's really happening. I think most people don't understand, what things mean or, why things mean things. I think that's what happens. And so many people don't quite get the reasons. But I think what Delta is doing is going to set a precedence. And I wouldn't be a bit surprised, ladies and gentlemen, if a lot of other airlines and companies jump on board to file suit against CrowdStrike as well. I mean, anytime you release software, right, you have to do testing. You have stuff that's in a test environment, and you have to make sure everything works before it goes into a production environment. That is just common sense. But people know at these companies that they don't get paid until something goes into production. So they oftentimes push something into production, but it's not ready for production. So this becomes, how can I say, a very serious problem. And the problem stems from people not understanding that, something was done wrong. And it's not Delta's fault. I mean, of course, they're blaming it back on other things, right? But it's not really their fault. Even though they had outdated technology, it was working fine before. So this has nothing, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, nothing to do with anything like that. But they're trying to basically, figure out what's going on and why things are going on. Hopefully, this suit will bring some clarity and also will bring some justice to the situation. All right, here is an interesting one. Many of you know Sotheby's. Well, a new AI robots painting set to make history at the Sotheby's auction. That's right. Sotheby auctioned off its first artwork created by a humanoid robot named AI Da on October 31st, Halloween 2024. The piece, titled AI God, is a mixed media portrait of mathematician Alan Turing, who significantly contributed to modern computing and artificial intelligence. Measuring 64 by 90.5 inches, the artwork is expected to fetch between $120,000 and $180,000. AI Da, developed by the UK and art dealer Adrian Meller, creates art using cameras, AI algorithms, and a robotic arm, marking a significant movement and moment in the intersection of technology and art. Now, Meller emphasizes that the auction highlights the rapid advancement, ladies and gentlemen, in robotics and AI, prompting discussions about their implications for society and the art world. Proceeds from the sale will support the AI Da project, which involves something very substantial and is going to be a groundbreaking point. So I think this is interesting, what's going on. And you might be saying, John, what did the let's say sell for? And again, this is pretty amazing. What happened. And so the thing about it is that it's just the fact that AI can be producing more money than if a human person made it. So the question is, by using AI, will other people be able to produce this same thing? I mean, that's really the question. And that's a big concern, right? An AI robot painting. And other things are going to happen like that, right? And you might be saying, John, well, it can't be that hard, right? Well, but you have issues, right? Like how much things are going for and things like that. So, what I will tell you is that the lot is supposed to close on November 7th, 2:01 p.m. Eastern Time for the AI robot. As of today, okay, the estimate was 120,000, 180,000. The current bid, okay, was 120,000, but the reserve was not met. So even though they said it was estimated around 120, that means they set the reserve a lot higher. Could be 130, could be 150. Heck, it could even be 180. So it really isn't going for 120, even though they said it could be. They kind of lied to us about that. All right. In other news that is transcending the globe, beside this very infamous AI how would you like to go to a store and have your shopping cart fly in front of you, and you could move it in the air by just a little handle as you push it and even navigate it? This flying cart, they say, could enhance your shopping experiences. And researchers at Seoul National University, that's SEOUL, University, Seoul's National University of Science and Technology, have introduced the Palantrone, a flying cart designed for aerial cargo transport that enhances grocery shopping. Unlike traditional carts, the Palantrone can navigate obstacles and rocky terrains guided by human operators. It employs a unique admittance control technique, allowing users to interactively control its flight path. The team has conducted tests to assess its performance under various conditions and potential applications, such as serving as a flying tripod for flexible camera movements. This innovation showcases how technology can transform shopping experiences and other tasks. Unfortunately, it's not able to handle enough for most people going shopping. It might be good for the occasional thing, but they still got some logistics and engineering to figure out, because it's not ready for the real world application. It is a prototype. And so, with Halloween just leaving our door just a couple days ago, this one I think will be very interesting for all of you guys. And that comes with the premise of tech or treat. I didn't say trick or treat, I said tech or treat. So there are several cool apps that hopefully you had a chance to play with that I mentioned on Halloween when I released the short reel about these. One is the Nextdoor Candy Corn Map. Now, many of you know Nextdoor. It's a basically a social media platform that's available in many neighborhoods. And you sign up, it's free, and then they even get businesses that can pay to advertise to people in the community. But the interesting thing about Nextdoor is that it allows people in the community to get to know each other. Now, they add a feature called the Nextdoor Candy Corn Map. If you enable that for your home, when trick-or-treaters see your house on the app, they'll be able to see a candy corn marked on or by your house, and that'll indicate that you are giving out treats this year. How about Trick-or-Treat Tracker? Easily track the number of trick-or-treaters visiting your house, downloading it from the App Store or the Android store. There's another one called Glimpse. Track your child or a group for safety while trick-or-treating. And here's another one, the panic button. All these so far are free. Panic button isn't just to be used at Halloween. It's a life-saving app for emergencies. It sends GPS coordinates to emergency contacts with just the touch of one press of a button on your phone. So this life-saving app, by pressing it, regardless of whether it's Halloween or any other time, anytime your child or an elder person or anyone in your family needs help, they just press it and it can simply send the GPS coordinates. Well, if you have not gotten enough of fright before the end of your Halloween, maybe you'll want to check this out for next time. But I did mention it on Halloween, and it is another cool app, ladies and gentlemen. It's called Fright Maps. So get ready to scream, as this app will quickly let you locate those spooky events near you: haunted houses, spooky hair rides, creepy mazes, and more. Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to have to wait till October, probably 20th or maybe 25th, till most people get their stuff set up and you can explore, because I don't think there's going to be much around right now. And it's important to understand that a lot of these apps are free. There are some paid apps, but the ones I've mentioned right now are free. And they're really here for a community service to help people, navigate around safer and find fun things to do in the community. So, cybersecurity for the upcoming presidential election is definitely a very hot topic. The U.S. Election Assistance Commission, the EAC, plays a very crucial role in ensuring the integrity and security of elections across the country. By providing resources for voter registration, enhancing cybersecurity measures, and promoting transparency through audits, the EAC supports both election officials and the voting public. Now, collaboration among various stakeholders is emphasized to foster shared knowledge and best practices. Some of the things to realize is voter engagement, importance of the voter registration, and understanding the ballot casting process. The election security resources, comprehensive guidelines, cybersecurity toolkit, and the training for officials, and also the incident response communication strategies and preparatory checklists for those involved, and those that are doing daily things like, voting and stuff like that. Also, the threat awareness, regular threat intelligence briefings on emerging cyber threats as they're happening. In fact, they've actually, I heard, activated the National Guard, keeping them on watch just to make sure everyone's safe and to ensure that if any outbreaks happen, they quickly are detained and they become no incident. But that's pretty serious when you hear the National Guard is being activated. Transparency and trust is also what they're about. The significance and election audits for accuracy and public trust. Encouragement of collaboration among election offices to share best practices. So I think it's good when these offices can do things and share them as a team, right? I think that's a pretty amazing thing when they can share things as a team, when they can understand what's going on and why things are going on. But I think when we actually work as a team, we're able to not only work smarter, but we're able to be much more efficient helping more people. For example, you guys might know of something called sandboxing for preventing threats. What happens is when a file or program is not recognized, it'll be put on the sandbox, which is usually a cloud server, but it's quarantined, so it can run and do whatever it wants to do in that virtual environment. And as long as it behaves, then it is allowed back out into the regular world. But it also, while it's in there, the system gathers all kinds of data and how it's performing, and then it reports it back to other threat intelligence systems, not only with that network, but other networks, to make people safer and to mitigate against others being, let's say, attacked by that. So lots of stuff is going on right now. And it's going to be very interesting to see what happens with the election, because I think the shape of the technology and where the AI bills go, I think it's going to be pretty hot of a topic. And who gets in is going to affect how that direction, moves forward. And when we think about, directions, another important one that I want to share with you guys, I think is a really cool one, is the direction of our clocks. Yes. So imagine a clock that takes hours to wind back. Well, you won't have to imagine too long. The Lanhydrock, a Victorian country house in Cornwall, run by the National Trust collections officer, Faye Rayson, faces a labor intensive task when British summer time ends, winding back 20 clocks, a process taking about 2.5 hours, while weekly windings usually take an hour and a half. Adjusting for the time change is more complex, particularly for a walnut long case clock from 1740 that chimes 8 bells every 15 minutes. Rayson's favorite is a French 8-day striking clock that presents its own challenge with a fragile glass dome. Each clock has a record sheet noting winding details and time accuracy for maintenance. I remember when I was probably in single digits and living with my parents in Wayne. I remember they had this clock, and the clock in our first home, when I probably wasn't even in second or third grade, it would never seem to run right. It would always like stop. Something wasn't balanced right. So when we moved to our new house in another part of Wayne, my mom decided to call basically a clocksman, clockmaker. And so he looked at the clock, he did his tweaks, and this clock would chime on the hour. So whatever hour it was, it would chime that many times. So it was 8 o'clock, it would chime 8 times. On the quarter past the hour, it would chime once. On the half hour, it would chime once. On the quarter to the hour, it would chime once. And back on the next hour, it would chime again. So this thing would chime all night long. Never woke me up. But then what would happen is whenever it got out of balance, we'd always have to call them and they'd have to resync it. Otherwise, it wouldn't keep working. So the way this clock worked is you basically would wind it up. There were two places you would wind it, and it had a the little pendulum going back and forth. But you had to wind it. I forgot how often, maybe every couple weeks or something like that. But it was a really cool clock. It came from Italy, and I think that's a very, very interesting thing. But who would ever thought that a clock would take that long to wind at the Lanhydrock Victorian country house? And I was answering someone on social media just the other day, and she commented back to one of my reels about this clock, and she's like, "Oh, that's nothing. The clock over my microwave," she says, "takes months." Now, it really didn't take her months, but it's one of those clocks where you have to literally go all the way around. Like, you just can't just like go quick. It like takes a long time. So I thought that was kind of interesting. But the ones definitely at that historic place are really a challenge. Clocks are very beautiful, but they oftentimes are a lot of work. So Ofcom, who we've talked about many times, Office of Communication in Europe, UK, is a clear link, they said, between online posts and violent disorders, what they found. So Ofcom found a clear connection between the social media posts and the violent unrest in England and Northern Ireland during the summer, linking the spread of illegal content and disinformation to a stabbing in Southport in July. While some tech platforms acted quickly to remove harmful content, responses varied, revealing the role of virality and algorithms in spreading divisive narratives. Ofcom emphasized the need for greater accountability, with new responsibilities set under the upcoming Online Safety Act, including swift content removal and better user protection. The unrest led to arrests, scrutiny of big tech, and high-profile criticism, including exchanges involving Elon Musk. Wow, guys, that's a pretty powerful one there. And AI is starting to do something very interesting. AI is now assisting doctors in detecting fractures on X-rays. How cool is that? The National Institute for Health and Care Excellence, NICE is the acronym for that, suggests using artificial intelligence, AI, to help doctors detect broken bones on x rays, potentially reducing the 3 to 10% of cases where fractures are missed. With shortages of radiologists and radiographers, AI could speed up diagnoses and relieve pressure on healthcare staff and minimize follow up appointments. Four AI tools are set for recommendation in England's urgent care, while further evidence is being gathered. AI will work alongside clinicians with radiologists reviewing all images to ensure accuracy. A consultation on the guidance is set to conclude on November 5th. We'll have more details on what's happening with that. And ladies and gentlemen, on Saturday, November 2nd, before you put your wonderful head on the pillow to rest for a good, healthy, relaxing night's sleep, please remember to fall back. Turn your clocks all back 1 hour. Now, your computer will automatically adjust. Some of your technology will automatically adjust. Like my watch automatically adjusts. But some of the manual clocks, like maybe the one you have over your kitchen sink, or maybe if you have an older alarm clock, that doesn't auto adjust, right? Your cars, most of them will automatically adjust. And so daylight saving time ends on November 3rd, 2024 at 2 a.m. So the clocks will be set back an hour, making a shift to standard time and until we hit the period of March 9th when we'll be springing ahead. Despite several bills in Congress to make daylight saving time permanent, none have passed as of yet. Advocates for permanent standard time argue that it benefits health and safety by ensuring more daylight in the mornings, while permanent daylight saving time could result in dark mornings, commutes that could be challenging, and experts suggest maintaining standard time could improve sleep quality, heart health, and overall well-being. So if you forget and you get up to go somewhere, church or like the New York Marathon, what I'm going to on Sunday, and you do not fall back, well, you're going to be there way early. You're me wondering, like, what happened? Did they cancel Mass? Did they cancel the event? No, they didn't cancel anything. You're just early. So at least that's a good thing. In the spring, if you forget to basically spring ahead, well, you'll be late. So please remember, ladies and gentlemen, set an alarm right now to do that. Maybe you want to set something on your iPhone or have a note. But before you go to bed tonight, make sure that you go ahead and fall back on all of your clocks. So very, very interesting. And do remember to do that. Our last topic for today is one from the infamous TikTok. Now, I got to tell you something. Whenever I post stuff on TikTok that's about TikTok, that talks about incompetencies, that talks about what they forgot to do, that criticizes or makes suggestions on how they can improve things, guess what happens? They shadow ban my post. So instead of it getting 500 or several thousand views, it gets 3, 4, or 5 because they purposely blocked it. That's unfair. So 14 attorney generals sue TikTok over alleged harm to kids' mental health. Wow. A bipartisan coalition of 14 state attorneys from the general has sued TikTok, alleging the platform is harmful to children's mental health by promoting addictive behaviors through features like endless scrolling content, challenge videos, and late night notifications that disrupt sleep. The lawsuit claims TikTok prioritizes profits over safety and targets minors despite its age restrictions and fosters compulsive use with content recommendation algorithms. The legal action is part of a set of broader concerns over social media's impact on youth, as authorities also address privacy issues and calls for content regulation. TikTok, of course, defends its safety efforts, citing screen time limits and parental controls. But I don't think TikTok is so innocent, right? TikTok has issues, as I said, with the attorneys, and with them, it's always been about money, right? It's been about the fact that now they're clamping down with every little thing they do, and so it's like they can't have a happy medium. It's like all or nothing with them, and so this suit argues that there are some issues, and this is in regard to the liability shield of Section 230, which protects services from lawsuits over user speech. The AGs accused TikTok of using addictive features that keep kids on the app longer, like auto-playing videos, promoting live content, and stories that are only available temporarily, and offering beauty filters on videos. They also referenced dangerous challenges that have gone viral on TikTok and in some cases been connected to teens' deaths. So there is a law out there, ladies and gentlemen, that protects you and I and Good Samaritans and people that are doing things, as well as even companies that post social media and they say, if you do something, and you have to kind of know not to do it. But what TikTok is doing is they are blatantly showing you how to do it. They're condoning it. So they're in a lot of hot water because it's like the protection shield for them. It's like, if you ever hear of piercing the corporate veil, which means, there's no corporate protection. You're going right for the person. And I think this is what's happening with TikTok, is that it's like piercing the veil of the protection and going right after them because they are guilty. They are doing things that are bringing lots of money in. And they don't care about your well-being or my well-being. I remember writing to them one time and asking them if they can, get me out to more people. And they said no. My content was great, high quality content, but most of the content that does well on TikTok is like stupid stuff. It's stuff that basically is geared for younger audiences, stuff that is very superficial. A lot of things like some of the dances and stuff like that. That's what takes off on TikTok. There are some other people in there that are, using it for other things, but not many. So, Facebook and Instagram, they don't have these dangerous challenges. They would be removed immediately. TikTok left them up there because they're making lots of money off of this. Lots of money. And this money, ladies and gentlemen, is a serious issue because it's affecting not only kids and children, but other adults as well. I mean, any platform that manipulates you into doing something you don't want to do, I think that is a serious, serious problem. So as we get ready for the election and lots of other things are happening here, and pretty soon Thanksgiving's coming around, I think one of the most important things is that when we use social media, we've got to have a purpose. Okay? We've got to have a purpose. And so I know that you're probably telling me that this shouldn't be that way, that shouldn't be this way. I get it. And I think this comes from the fact that so many people have done it and they think it's okay. And maybe, just maybe, their intent was not to cause this. But when controversy brought so many more people to the platform, well, they weren't going to stop it because it was getting more people to watch TikTok videos. And the question I know you will be asking me is, will TikTok ever be shut down? And so the legislative gives ByteDance 9 months to sell TikTok to a new buyer, with an additional 3-month grace period before any ban would take effect. TikTok said this could mean it is either forced to sell or shut down in the United States by January 19th, 2025 after the U.S. presidential election. So my feeling is they're going to look at the numbers and they're going to see if there's some kind of company they can get, but maybe that they can control like a puppet. And I honestly believe that ByteDance is probably going to shut down. They would prefer to shut down its loss-making app rather than sell it if this Chinese company exhausts all legal options to fight legislation to ban the platform from app stores in the U.S. It's interesting, right? TikTok accounts for a small share of ByteDance's total revenue and daily active users. So the parent would rather have the app shut down in the U.S. in a worst-case scenario than sell it to a potential American buyer. I find that the people on TikTok, they're not loyal subscribers. So to me, if I saw the platform go away, I probably wouldn't lose too much sleep. It would actually save us some time so we don't have to post to that platform. The engagement on TikTok is not authentic. And so many people on TikTok take your content, repost it, and they don't even have the decency to like your video. That's pretty bad. So I think whatever's supposed to happen will happen. If TikTok does close on, the January date, like I was telling you, it's going to make a lot of people unhappy. But at the end of the day, it's probably what's best for the United States, right? It's probably what's best for the United States. And so the bill went into place on April 24th. Unless they change the bill around, but right now the clock is unfortunately ticking for them. And it could face a full U.S. shutdown in January if it doesn't sell its U.S. operations. Millions of users are hooked on TikTok short-form videos, and this TikTok U.S. ban could be a game changer for social media. To me, it doesn't make or break me. It's a very small percent of my followers, and I just feel the people on there, they're not people that are going to interact or buy my services or even follow like faithfully, unfortunately. That's just what I've seen. I've found that most of the people that like my content stay with it, but there's a lot of people that watch my videos and they share them and they don't even comment. They don't even like the video. So that's pretty terrible. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I am John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. We have talked about so much today, and we dove right into the heart of cybersecurity and AI insights. But, we're just scratching the surface. We're definitely going to keep track of what's happening with the election, if anything happens, any technology insights, and any new bills that are going to be passed. I hope you do visit BelieveMeAchieve.com for more of my amazing, inspiring creations, ladies and gentlemen. And I'll catch you guys when? Well, you know when. Next Friday, November 8th. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your night or day and a wonderful rest of the weekend. And please, ladies and gentlemen, remember, if today is November 2nd and you're about to go to bed, first, set all your clocks back 1 hour. All right. And if you have any fire alarms in your home, and they're not the kind that have the battery that gets replaced when you replace the smoke detector or carbon monoxide detector, this is the same time that you should be going around to all those detectors and replacing that battery. You might say, well, gee, I only have to do it once a year. Do it every time the clock changes. Because if you do, and you ever forget, you'll protect your safety. When it comes to our life, what's a few extra pennies, right? Life is priceless. I'll see you guys on the next JMOR Tech Talk Show. Thanks so much for watching, and visit believemeachieve.com for more of my amazing, inspiring creations.